Hello, everyone. My name is Richard, and I'm doing the presentation on the ownership of information technology, Chapter 10 of our textbook, The Moral Fog of Social Media. This presentation will go over the promise of social media, what it delivered, illusions of it, social media manipulations, the future of social media, and then end with a conclusion and references. So I'll start with the promise of social media. The textbook starts with a sentence, which is the information and social media revolutions promised great leaps forward in moral agency and shared life. I think this sentence wraps up social media's promise pretty well as a digital town square where everyone can get together and share their thoughts, listen to others, and come to a collective conclusion. It promised great leaps forward in self-expression, communication, information, ideas, understanding, world access, moral agency, rational agency, and shared life. What social media actually delivered is represented well in the second sentence of the chapter, which is instead, there has been widespread depreciation of value and social connections. Social media has normalized the artificial over the real, abnormal extremes in thought, politics, ideology, religion, immoral actions, unethical actions, fast fashion, mob rule, shortened attention spans, blurred boundaries, especially with social media creators, influencers, people creating parasocial relationships with them, altering the actual relationship, or I guess non-relationship that really exists, oversharing, and the widespread misinformation and disinformation. Social media has turned believing in science into pseudoscience, such as back during COVID-19, different rumors and misinformation that was being spread about that, as well as premature communications passed even by the government. Politeness has been replaced with harassment and online bullying, cyberbullying. Acceptance is replaced by judgment and jealousy. Companionship, which it was supposed to bring us, connecting us all together digitally, has brought a lot of loneliness, especially in younger people. Facts and evidence have been replaced with conspiracy theories. Social media creates a moral fog that obscures our understanding of value and our perception of reality. It's a perfect storm of our actual individual human nature, which is limited perceptions of ourself and others and world, which is distorted by our understanding, our perceptions, our senses, and our obscured realities, especially with social media where a lot of times we take what we believe and do and the cause and effect of the physical world, try and translate that into the virtual world. Another aspect of social media is the rampant oversharing, which has left us vulnerable to big data collection, especially by big corporations trying to do analysis of our buying habits, our thoughts, our beliefs, what we want, which leads to targeted advertising, corporate and political manipulation, and then peer pressure on an incredible scale beyond what we're exposed to in the physical world. And instead of interacting with others, which is what the internet and social media promised, we're really just reacting or interacting with the internet as a conglomerate hub, like mob. Social media has led to a distrust in science, facts, and reasoning as it derails discussions and actual progression. It's been degraded by acceptance of vaccines, or caused degradation of our acceptance of vaccines and medical advice, and our understanding of our effect on the world, such as global warming, climate science. Our common sense and deductive reasoning is reduced as we just take at face value what we're told, and analysis and acceptance of what actually matters in the world is degraded. Social media manipulates us through public relations, which is PR, just another spin on propaganda. Is coined by Edward Bernays, a nephew of Sigmund Freud. It is propaganda is a self-deprecating term that alerts the user to its intent, which is to manipulate you. So PR is a PR spin on propaganda, and it's a manipulation of the masses, which was necessary to save democracy, is what Edward Bernays thought. Social media uses PR psychology to convince us to make decisions through persuasion, manipulation, especially decisions critical to our identities, to transcend limits by taking on radical or revolutionary causes as well. Social media is used to manipulate us by big tech and corporations to achieve their goals through behavioral advertising, choice modeling, framing, and nudging. And radical projects that are used by these companies include examples such as targeted dream incubation, where they try and influence our dreams, to influence our decisions in the waking world through smart devices like Siri or Alexa, or even our smartphones, computers, especially for like listening to music or sound as we go to sleep. The advertisements and the YouTube videos that are put on those videos to target us specifically if we're like trying to sleep, as well as technologies like Elon Musk's Neuralink and trying to interface directly with the human brain. We also often manipulate our own lives through social media, and the way we express ourselves in the virtual world often doesn't go hand in hand with ourselves, our reality in the physical world, based on our photos, videos, and shorts that we post online, social media posts, our comments, replies, what celebrities and influencers we follow and forward represent. And everything that we do is done for a show in social media to present a certain image that we want to represent of ourselves. One example of the future of social media that the textbook gives is Facebook's metaverse, which was coined from a term from the 1992 sci-fi novel Snow Crash. It's the merging of the traditional and virtual worlds, so the physical, augmented, and virtual realities that we exist in are all combined into one. It's intended to offer unlimited options, opportunities, and capabilities for people to do and be whatever they want in this virtual world. One downside, though, is it essentially creates a digital twin of ourselves in this virtual world that, especially for the people that are in the virtual world for very long periods of time, that can be taken advantage of. It captures our data about us, what we do, our activities, our habits that can be analyzed, and it poses a real risk to the loss of our privacy and our autonomy. The second example of the future of social media that the text talks about is dream incubation technology, which was touched on a little bit earlier with like the Siri and Alexa devices and trying to manipulate our dreams. Coors, the beer company, offered 100 million people discounts on beer a couple days before the Super Bowl to participate in targeted advertising where they were exposed to images of drinking cold beers, clean, refreshing mountain environments, basically everything that represents Coors in the daytime in hopes to manipulate their dreaming time, and to infiltrate their dreams through that daytime manipulation. Was an experiment that was conducted to explore dream or sleep hacking through advertising, which, like I said earlier, is also possible through smart devices, speakers, videos, other media content. In conclusion, social media and the World Wide Web or the internet promised autonomy, equality, justice, solidarity, freedom, and inclusion, sharing, participation, and a distribution of power. But ultimately, it's just led to centralizations of power and wealth, micro-targeting of advertisements, as well as manipulation, power grabs, exploitation, especially of those that are in vulnerable states, and prone to manipulation, propaganda, and profiteering. It's also led to us as individuals becoming consumers of products and goods by companies, of lies and manipulation by the government, society, again, companies, and consumers of social media content that not only influence but sometimes directly alter our decision-making process. And the textbook, the chapter ends in a quote, "What does it profit a species to gain the entire wisdom of Wikipedia and lose both the best or least bad form of government and its planet as well?" It's by Philip Kitchener, a British philosopher at Columbia University. And that leaves me with a question: what is the point of having all the knowledge at our fingertips if we don't use it? Our textbook was the only reference I used in making this presentation, and thank you for watching.